What's going on, y'all? What's good? So, in light of me watching the Knuckleheads podcast with Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles, they did an interview with Patrick Beverly. Pat Bear from Westside Chicago played in the Red West Conference, the tough Red West Conference, coming out of Marshall High School. They were asking him about some of the most prolific scorers he ever played against. Who was an automatic bucket getter? Like who got buckets clean? Or who was some of the most exciting players that, he was left in awe watching, right? And so it made me think about some of my favorite players that I watched during my time, living in Chicago, watching the high school hoop scene here. So y'all know I'm only 26 years old. So I was born in 93. So I don't recall the 90s era of basketball. My era of basketball, high school basketball, starts in the early 2000s, right? I saw Sean Dockery at Julian. Sean had that work. He had the business. Like, for real. It's a reason why that man left from right off Vincennes at Julian High School and went to Duke. Coach K got him for a reason. Now, he might have became a role player and a defender at Duke, and it happens to a lot of top kids coming out of high school. They pick the wrong college, and they get turned into a role player rather than a star player that they potentially can be. But Sean was special. Shannon Brown, even though Shannon went to Proviso East and out in Maywood, Shannon jumped like a rocket was on his back. Like, I'm not lying. Like, he had a jetpack on his back or something. Like, jumping out the gym. He was high scoring. He was a bucket getter, and he made every bucket look exciting. Like, an electric player. And you can ask anybody that really watched Shannon Brown at the time. Shannon was something different. He was a different type of animal. Like, my cousin was playing AAU ball at the same time. My cousin came out in '04. He went to West Virginia, right? But then he ended up transferring to Toledo after that to be closer to the crib. After I lost my brother. But anyway, my cousin came out of high school the same time. It was Shannon Brown, Sean Livingston. I didn't watch Sean like that. Sean was out in Peoria, I believe. But then other basketball players I watched growing up in my time. So '06 had Sharon Collins. I promise y'all, Sharon like a good 5'10" at best. Sharon was jumping out the gym. He was ranked in football and basketball at Crane and was doing folks in like a bucket. And you couldn't take the ball from him. He was a stocky, strong guard. But he could back you into the post. He can go to the cup with the quickness. Like, he was a skilled guard. End up winning a national championship at Kansas against my boy D Rose. But Sharon was prolific. I remember when he threw the alley-oop, the self alley-oop off the glass in the McDonald's All-American game. Kevin Durant thought he was throwing it to him, so Kevin jumped. Sharon like, nah, this all me. Went up and cocked back and put it down. Sharon all of 5'10". Even in the pro-ams now, Sharon stocky, he a big guy now, but still can hoop. With the best of them, still can give you the business. I'm gonna be real. Like, I remember, and I never watched this person play during their playing days. But I went to Morgan Park High School. Nick Irvin is currently the coach at Morgan Park High School. And Nick is he's a bigger guy now, and he ain't even in basketball shape. But Nick got one of the best jump shots I have ever seen in my life. And he went to Carver High School. Nick Irvin was out there. He was giving the young boys on the court the business. Like, for real. Like, you better not leave him open. Knock down. I only seen him as a grown man hooping against his players. But back to the young boys. DeAndre Liggins out of Washington High School. DeAndre was, call him Ticket. DeAndre was nice. He was nice. Like, DeAndre could hoop for real. Skill guard, long, lanky, can score and defend. If you playing in Chicago public school too, you gotta play D. Like, I don't care who you are, how good you are. If you ain't playing D, you sitting on that bench. Period. So DeAndre could lock folks up and score. But that dang on Derrick Rose, that D Rose. Like, I promise y'all, watching D Rose play, it made every young hooper want to play like that. Cause the dude he was so electric and he act like he wasn't like he had the Tim Duncan stoic face, but was out there booming on dudes, windmilling, catching oops, crossing dudes over. Like, I mean, doing everything you can imagine. That time when they went back to back, when Simeon went back to back in state, it was him, Tim Flowers, Kevin Johnson, Brian Orange, and Brandon Hall. Them boys was doing a thing. They was getting busy on folks. I remember they beat Oak Hill. Brandon Jennings, they had Alex Legion. They had like a whole team full of all-American type guys. D-Rose and them got them boys up out of there. Simeon was ranked number 22. Oak Hill was the number 1 team in the country. D-Rose had like 28, 8, and 9. Almost had a triple-double. Led them boys to a win. I think it was at UIC. Got them boys out of there with the win on ESPN. I promise y'all, Derek was the reason why a lot of the young boys wanted to make it, because they saw Pooh be on the cover. That's what they called D-Rose, Pooh. He was on the cover of Slam magazine. And I promise y'all, like, it was just so, I got the chills looking at that, because I'm like, this somebody that, you know, straight out of Inglewood, Southside Shy, doing it like this, what Slam magazine got to recognize that he that guy. And he was hands down the best player in the state of Illinois, the best point guard in the country. Like, he was special. Then I'm trying to think, Pat. Pat himself, I remember D-Rose and Pat going back and forth. They used to go at it. Like, they was going at wars. Like, and Pat was scoring, locking folks up, averaging like 27 a game, something crazy. Like, Pat, and a lot of people just know Pat for being able to defend. Along the years, he found his niche. And he plays his role very well. He became a defensive stopper and a role player. But Pat was a scorer in high school. And I'm sure you can say that for a lot of the guys, you know, that are in the NBA currently right now. A lot of those guys were scorers in high school. As they went to college and the pros, they became role players. But they still found they niche to stay in the league. Ryan Boatright. Ryan was like AI and Kemba Walker in one. Like, he had the Kyrie Irving handle. He was small. He had the lift, though. He could dunk with the best of them. Like, he was small, but he was like real crafty, real skilled, feisty guard. Can get after it. He was in Aurora. Played at East Aurora High School. He had like 55 one game and put up 60 the next game. Something crazy. And at the time that Bennett High School was not Chicago, it was in Illinois. I don't know what Bennett is at. Bennett was undefeated. Ryan Boatright and his boys, I think dude name was like Snoop Visor or something like that. Him and his homies, them got them up out of there and got the win over them. But back to CPS, man. Wayne Blackshear, like, I know y'all say, you know, Wayne had a lackluster career at Louisville. Honestly, I think he picked the wrong school. I think he should have went to another school. You know, Rick Pitino is known to have those prolific guards that like to score a lot. He likes scoring guards. But ironically, the only time they won was when they had a pass-first type of guard like Peyton Siva. But when Wayne was at Morgan Park High School, at my high school, I saw it up close and personal. Wayne was a warrior. He was a dog. Like, I promise y'all, he was something different. Like, I remember watching us play Harlan. Harlan High School on 95th, right by the red line. We playing Harlan. Harlan go up like 10-0. They give Wayne the ball on back to all these possessions, back to back to back. He scored on he scored every single time they gave it to him off a jump shot, mid-range. Far out, deep mid-range. He knocking it down. Nothing but net. Going to the cup, getting and ones, dunking on people. Like, I mean, knocking down a three-point shot. Wayne was doing it all. Taking it up the court. Spin move, going between the legs. Like, Wayne was putting up 40, 37. Put up 56 on Ralph Ellison. Even though that's not a hooping school, 56 points is 56 points. We beat Whitney Young. He got us up out of there against Whitney Young. And we won a city championship off a shot that he hit against my boy Kiefer Sykes at Marshall. Kiefer was playing at Marshall. Him, Vince Gary, Alfonso McKinney. Alfonso McKinney currently plays for the Golden State Warriors now. Shout out to Al, man. Al be with my boy Kiefer all the time. But anyway, Wayne hit the game-winning shot with Rick Pitino in the house to win the city championship. I will never forget that. MP Morgan Park High School was on fire the next day. Like everybody was geeked. Wayne was absolutely sensational, man. Like that's why I wish he would have went to a better school because people did not see how good Wayne was. And I remember he hurt his shoulder too, so that might have hindered him as well. But people didn't see how special Wayne was. And I really am sad about that because Wayne was just, if y'all would have saw what he was doing, opening game against St. Rita, he had like 37, 38. He was killing everybody. And my homies never forget, Melvin always tell me about this dunk he did at CVS where he LeBron on one of the guys. And CVS own gym, Chicago Vocational High School. They gym is currently now Chicago Vocational Career Academy. But they gym was going up. It was going up. Like they was hollering and screaming for the opposing player because Wayne just dog dude that bad. And he dunked a dude in high school. It was Homewood and Flossmoor. He dunked some dude. It was crazy. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Oh, my dog, my player partner, my boy Kiefer. Kiefer was phenomenal, especially his senior year. He was special. That's when Alfonso McKinney left and Vincent left. Kiefer was out there killing dudes. But I'm trying to figure out who else during my time I was like, man, dude, a bucket. Trying to think. Who else did I see that I was like, I didn't see Iman Shumpert. I didn't watch Iman at Oak Park River Forest High School. It's some stuff that's not coming to me now that I know when I end this video is gonna come back to me, and I'm trying to think of it now. Darius Smith, Smitty out of Marshall, ended up going to UConn. It didn't pan out for him, and he transferred to Eastern. Didn't really work out, but Darius was a monster. He was averaging like 25 and like 7 steals. It was crazy. Like he was putting up numbers. He was scoring that rock too. Scoring that joint for real, like effortlessly. Who else? But Wayne was a different type of scorer, bro. Like I promise y'all, his scoring, him and Ryan Boatwright, they came out in 2011 with me. Them boys are scoring a ball so easy, jump shot like water. Like I was like, what the hell? I'm looking like these boys. I remember Wayne. People was watching Wayne warm up. He was shooting by himself like an hour before the game, knocking down every shot, and people watching it all like, oh my God. Right? I remember that Rise magazine came to my school, my Morgan Park High School. You know, Wayne was hooping for our school. Wayne on the cover of that joint, they put his averages up in the paper. People thought he was lying. No, that boy was really putting up them 40 and 30. And he was a 6'5" power forward in high school. You know, you be 6'4", you a center in Chicago. We ain't got 7-footers all willy-nilly. Like AD. Anthony Davis, too, was another player that was putting up crazy numbers. But his team was garbage, though. He played for Perspectives. They didn't really have no basketball team. They didn't, and they was trash. He had a quadruple-double, and they still lost. He had like a 40-point quadruple-double, and they still took an L. That's crazy to me. Crazy. But, I don't know. I can't name nobody else right now. I'm going to think on it, but them boys I named was some hoopers. Go get us for real. Y'all let me know if y'all got anybody else y'all want to add to this bunch. Peace.